to Rocket League Central. I'm Brody Leafexmore, and today we're in a bit of a different setting. Welcome to RLC Home Alone Edition. Erica got sick of me this week, so I'm grounded and I'm stuck to my room. But that doesn't mean we don't have a sick show for you guys. Of course, on today's show, Gridwatch heads over to Europe for the European Regional number 2. We get the sickest plays in Hot Shots and the greatest memes in Breakout. Everything right now is about Rocket League Season 2. That's right, Season 2 of the free-to-play launch of Rocket League is out now. And there's a couple things we need to talk about. First off, I'm excited about mostly the esports shop receiving a much-needed makeover, a bit of a facelift. Now, 9 teams being added into the esports shops are available to browse at any single time. So if your favorite org is out there and you don't have their decal, you can jump into the game and get it right this second. Much needed facelift for the esports section. And of course, player anthems have been added. Now, when you score a goal, you get to play the song of your choice. So make sure you guys are getting out there and putting on the most annoying song possible. Love You Need You? Anybody? I'm kidding. I love that song. But for now, we have to move on. North America killed it last time, so we're going to head over to Gridwatch for the European Regional number 2. The RLCS Season X Winter Split seems to be a series characterized by upsets. Just when you think a team is on a tear, they're cut down by the most unexpected of contenders. This trend continued with the second European regional event, which saw the continent's most dominant team stop dead in their tracks. Everyone expected BDS to continue their winning streak coming off of their first place victories in both the EU Fall Major and the first Winter Regional, and it seems like they would at first, with the team starting at top seed and winning their first 3 matches with relative ease.
Giants struggling to keep the ball away right now.
And they're struggling to hit the net as well. Those were 2 solid chances that they put wide on both sides of the net. Now, Extra's going to get the goal. Samway got bumped out of the way by, I believe, Monkey Moon. And a 2-goal lead now for BDS.
Meeting them in the upper bracket finals was Top Blokes, a skilled team who had failed to get impressive results at majors. Their highest finish prior was a distant second, way back at the first fall regional of the season. Nevertheless, Top Blokes mounted a shockingly strong offense, dueling BDS back and forth in a true seesaw match that went down to overtime in the last possible game. At the 11th hour, Top Blokes pulled out all the stops to best the Titans of Europe, ultimately clinching it thanks to a coordinated fake-out from Archie Cassio.
On net, it's the safest one to go for, but a good 50 from Flame leaves a chance in the corner.
Archie got the 50, Cassio punches in reverse, and Cassio has done it! Archie sets him up, and Top Blokes take BDS down!
BDS fell down to the lower bracket, where they would face Team Queso, the former Magnifico roster, in the lower finals. Perhaps still reeling from the Top Blokes upset, BDS ended up going 2-4 against the underdog opponents, resulting in one of their very few tournament losses in the last 3 months.
1 goal away from a massive upset. Oh! And that's going towards net. It's in! The reign of Team BDS has been ended by Team Queso.
Thus, Queso and Top Blokes were the finalists, and their clash was a knockdown, drag-out brawl in which 4 out of the 7 games went into overtime. Ultimately, TB's victory was sealed once again by Cassio, undoubtedly the tournament's MVP, as he slipped a shot through Queso's defense to win the tournament for Top Blokes.
Quite handily, but final 3 seconds will decide a lot. Can Cassio get there? And he gets the boost. This is a great position. Archie is across. Chance. That goes high. Cassio. He's got the target. And at 0 seconds overtime. Never count out the Top Blokes until they tried to close it. Cassio had the world watching.
TB's upset proved that BDS weren't the unstoppable juggernauts many thought they were, and paved the way to a grand finals to rival last week's North American Regional. It's anyone's game now, so keep tuning in to find out how the tides turn in the next and final European Regional. Now joining me on the line is a former player and a very well-renowned coach from SSG. It is Chrome. Welcome, Mr. Rob G, to the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's great. It's always great chatting with you, man. Yeah, you've made that transition really well, man. I feel like you're nestled into that coach role really nicely. Like, do you feel like you're finally in a comfortable spot? Obviously, when you switch roles like this, there's a lot to learn going into a coaching role. Do you feel like you're in there and you got that thing down pat now?
Yeah, definitely. It's been a journey for sure. Like, I didn't expect to get in the coaching role like so soon. Like, I honestly wanted to continue competing, but it just wasn't feasible for me. And I got fortunate enough to be with the Energy guys, and honestly, I was just going with the flow, trying new things, and some things worked for them and some things didn't, and I kind of carried that over to when I first signed with SSG, and then here we are now. A lot of new things happen, and I'm just learning new things constantly and trying to see what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, so even at this point, it's still like a learning routine, eh? Like it just never stops, eh?
No, it's constant. It's a constant battle. It's like competing, but you're not playing. If that makes sense. Like, I still get the nerve-wracking moments like in a series, like I used to get as a player too. So,
well, sometimes it can be harder because you don't really have actual control over the situation, right? You're just watching.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I said that like when I first started coaching with Energy, like I felt more nervous as a coach, like at events and stuff like that, or just in general, because like these are the guys I'm telling, like, all right, let's try these things, let's work on these things, and then they implement it into their game, and then that's something we work on as well as we strategize and game plan. So it's like kind of like my little baby in a sense, where I send them off to the races and hope they win, you know. So it's like it's very stressful too. Like it's a lot more stressful than being a player, in my opinion.
They're your little chess pieces completing your evil master plan, right? Well, let's talk about Season X, just how it's going so far. We're halfway through now. The Rocket League Championship Series Season X. Everything we've known about the professional scene was thrown out the window with all these new formats, the circuit system, and everything. Now that we're halfway through, how do you feel personally on just everything we've seen with multiple different formats across these two different splits so far?
It's actually like really exciting. Like I was a fan of the first split when it had Swiss and all that, and then even the grid was like 9 weeks back and forth, and it kind of got old after a while. So I'm kind of glad they transitioned to this new grid format, makes it more exciting and stuff like that. And I was a big fan of Swiss, and then when they got rid of it, I was kind of upset, to be honest. And then we went back to double limb, and I was like, ugh. It felt like another one of those RLCS qualification tournaments back in the day in seasons 1 through 4. So it's just a change of pace, and it's like you really got to be on your toes to stay at the top.
Yeah, no, it's interesting to watch teams have to approach it differently. Do you find like that mentally there is a large like approach difference between like a Swiss and a double elimination, and how prepared the players get, or how they prepare and how they deal with it on the day of?
Yeah, Swiss is a perfect example of that. Like, we wanted to bounce back after a loss. It's a lot more lenient, too. Like, you can lose twice and then still make it through. And then, obviously, the last day, single limb. But it really, like, rewards people who are grinding their hardest and, like, really, striving to get better as a team. Because there's so many games played, and you really want to be putting in those hours to be on top of your game as well. And then switching to double limb, it's like, you can't mess up. So you really got to be on point. And especially, like, you can't afford a loss, because you're going to put yourself in a really bad situation if you want to make a run.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's talk about that then, because at the last regional, there was like an implosion of the North American scene, right? Like everything kind of just like fell apart at that point. We had multiple teams. You guys dropped out early. We had NRG dropping out early. All those top 4 basically were getting dropped out early. G2 even, I think it was Pittsburgh Knights. Yeah, they took down G2 in their run as well. It was just, I think they took out almost everyone on their run. Yeah. So it was crazy. Now, do you attribute this to the format, or do you feel like those teams are starting to find a bit of a formula that works at taking games off of these top teams?
I mean, I've always preached to Rocket League. I feel like Rocket League is like on the day game, as well as like, if you don't have any sort of practice against these weaker teams, that sort to say, I guess they're not really weaker, but they're not like renowned like Energy or G2 or whatever. Yeah. So it's like you really kind of have to like guess. It's a guessing game, and then on top of that, they got nothing to lose. They want to beat us. They want to beat the top dogs. And on top of that, the format as well. Like, yeah, anyone could really win. I mean, Energy proved that too. They lost to Ghost Gaming in that game 5, and then they proceeded to beat them in the best of 7. I think it was like 4-0. So it's just like, once you get that game with them, you kind of understand what they want to do, and then you know how to counter it. So I feel like if we were to play any of these teams that we lost to, we would be fine again. So,
okay, so if that's what you're saying, so it feels like as if well, and that did happen. I mean, like you guys went into grid week number 2, right? And it was looking fine for you guys. It feels like the only thing that was off was this regional number 1. So for you, you're saying that, like, okay, if we play them again, it should be fine. It was just we just figuring them out. Do you feel like there's any teams in North America outside, again, like those top 4, maybe to 5, that do have maybe the makings of a team that will be harder for you guys to figure out and that will continue to take games? I mean, obviously KCP was a team that was doing that for quite a while. They seemed like they actually had figured out a consistent formula for that. Are there any other teams that you feel maybe are in that same spot in being able to consistently take games off the top guys?
Yeah, I would say really anyone in that top 10, right? United's been doing it lately, and they're kind of like borderline 10th in a lot of people's power rankings. Alpine has beaten us a few times. I mean, we've pretty much lost to like everyone when it comes to like outside like the top 4. Like version 1's gonna come up now. Rogue's got a new rejuvenated roster. Yeah, Alpine's been pretty good lately. I honestly could see them getting better as well. And ACP, they're obviously in a little slump period right now, but I feel like they're gonna find their footing again.
Chrome, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your time, and again, good luck in all your matches going forward here.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, Leaf.
Good 50 by Breezy. Does not land fully though. I love the. That's a goal. Oh my god.
Breezy.
Breezy.
Gives it over to Hyder, doesn't get the touch, and now Violent Panda transition down quickly over to Joyous. Violent Panda, shot put away by Dignitas. Passing play works out on the transition, and the go-ahead goal in 3 seconds.
Beautiful, look at this. 1, 2, and 3, the give and go. Beautifully done.
Here comes Astral again. He's momentarily uncontested. He's got the reset. There it is. Astral pulls a Kaylee on endpoint and puts an end to the longest overtime that we've seen today.
Got to keep it up in the air now. Ostlon starts to try and recover the ball. He's managed to do so. In comes Mike Boy. Helps out. Cash pops the ball on a little bit further. Dementa. Wait, what? Looking over the Cash. Hat-trick to Cash as well. And we are going to overtime.
You are joking. Dementa has actually helped Cash score this. He pops it back into him.
Can Oxygen either create that room or force the mistake? This is a bit hopeful there from Farah, and that now leaves Monkey Moon available.
My goodness.
How? How do you stop him? It defies logic.
He just jumped off the ceiling with no boost, Shogun. Nothing.
High tip. Extra will go towards net.
Oh
Dementa can't get there. A come from behind experience that BDS is bringing us. Oh, you saw multiple players.
Pitch. What is that?
What? Oh my, he should buy a lottery ticket after that shot.
What is this? BJB comes in from the top and fits into a pinch. Just goes straight into the ball. It can just bounce into the net off the defender. So it is a bit of an old-fashioned goal there. We don't see that misplay very often. Oh, a steak! Not giving us any time to digest the last goal. Just ground pinches in the opening goal for Giants. I love that first touch as well. Didn't waste any time getting down to the ground.
Late in that game to try to give themselves the advantage. But the difference, again, Pirelli, you nailed it. Matane puts it in. Unpredictability is king, and Matane puts in this over Alpha.
On the challenge as well, he didn't even get to the ceiling, so he had nothing left. He just had to hit the ball, and he had just enough boost to follow it up.
Now, those shots are really cool, but honestly, doesn't really get me excited right now. I've been playing a lot of drop shot mainly just because the challenges for the end of season 1 were to win 10 MVPs, and that's really, really, really hard. So I don't really care about sick plays anymore. I just care about getting the grind on in drop shot. It was tough. And speaking of drop shot, Boat Wrong seems to have found the fastest way to score a goal in drop shot. That is really fast. And I did notice that on Reddit, someone is offering $100 to someone that could get one faster because they're confident that that is going to be the world record for a long time standing right now. That is really fast. Honestly, mostly because everyone triple and quadruple committed, but let's not talk about that. Now, before on the show, we had someone show you a 20v20 Rumble bot match. Well, it's Louis E has stepped it up to a 50v50. Take a look. I'm loving the music choice, the destruction, just straight mosh pit. I'm honestly more impressed with the fact that his frame rate seems stable. I don't know how he's got some super Google quantum computer going on there. Let's move on though. I Seen Your Crack is defying the laws of physics with its next play that probably should have been in Hot Shots. On second thought, you don't get to be in Hot Shots with that cropping. Why is it square? Give me the full glory of that. Did you do that to put on Instagram? Instagram has ruined everything. Anyways, our final one is Sniffle Buttons, who puts in a submission for what he thinks should be the Rule 1 for Snow Day. I don't know if it's necessarily Rule 1 more than it is just a weird puck worship routine. They must have all been Canadian players. Fun fact though, as a Canadian player, I hate that game mode. I do not like Snow Day in that. But let's move on now to the Elite of Rocket League as we take a look at one of the most popular teams in Rocket League. It's G2 in Double Tap. The tale of G2 esports is one of highs and lows, of triumphant victories and crushing defeats in equal measure. While their road to RLCS champions is still ongoing, it's important to pay respect to the achievements and adaptations the team has made along the way. G2 entered the world of Rocket League in late 2016, immediately acquiring the roster of iBuyPower Cosmic, the team who just so happened to be the winners of the very first RLCS World Championship Series.
Down, it's on the wall. Kronovi tries to put it over. Mike Rules drops it. Cookster takes the shot. It doesn't matter. iBuyPower are the RLCS champions. Congratulations, iBuyPower Cosmic has taken Flipside Tactics for the second time so far in this tournament. Flipside getting knocked down in the first round, having to fight all the way through the losers bracket the entire day, mixed to the end. But iBuyPower coming alive and just dominating these last few games.
Unfortunately, poor performance at the start of RLCS Season 2 led G2's fledgling lineup to begin hemorrhaging talent. Player Licinio and Coach Gambit departed the team in November, with Overzero following suit a few months later, leaving just team captain Kronovi as the last remnant of the Season 1 champion squad. The team promptly signed Rizzo and J-Naps to fill the vacancies, but it was clear their new roster would need some work before they could reach the heights they aspired to, as another mediocre result in the Season 3 league showed. While they did manage to achieve escape velocity at last and make it to the Season 4 finals, G2 was unfortunately stomped out by Cloud9 for a respectable but disappointing 4th place finish.
In the back, as we hit the final 10 seconds, he'll take it off of his own wall. 9-8, Kronovi in the corner with J-Naps hitting in his own net, struggling to get it out of their half. The 50-50s keep going in Cloud9's favor, and the bump on Kronovi will do it. Seal the deal. Cloud9 stays alive.
Their first major tastes of success came in December of that year, when Kronovi led the team to victory at the E-League Cup, scooping up the $70,000 grand prize and cementing them as a team to watch heading into Season 5.
Kronovi looking to team up, 18 seconds left. They just got to hold on here, and the victory is theirs. JNAP's looking for Kronovi. Turbo Pulsar puts it down, and Violent Panda in a deep cherry pick position. It's Turbo Pulsar,
the shot!
but the save comes through, and G2 gets it away. Final 6 seconds, 5, 4, they play it out. Turbo Pulsar picks it up. He's got Violent Panda to work with, but they have to keep it in the air. It doesn't happen. G2 are the E-League champions.
And indeed, G2 started 2018 strong, taking first place in the Season 5 North American Finals over Superstars NRG after a close second place at DreamHack Leipzig. Tragically, their momentum faltered, and despite these early victories, failed to place well in both the Season 5 and 6 World Championship Series. It was clear that changes had to be made once more, and in 2019, G2 bid farewell to Kronovi, the last remnant of their original roster. Acquiring Evil Genius's Chicago in his place, this significant shakeup paid immediate dividends. G2 finished second in the Season 7 Grand Finals, their best result in over a year.
JNAPS takes it away. G2, they will not go quietly into the night. Chicago takes it off the ramp. We may survive as this ball touches the ground, but Vitality look for one more chance. JNAPS cuts it off, and K-Dop, okay, one more, back to Fairy Peak. And 4 players combined right there as it floats up. Fairy Peak still keeps this in the air, and it touches the ground. And G2 take their first game of the set, they're still alive.
After missing out on Season 8, G2 went on a dominant streak in the 9th season, finishing league play in second place and trouncing NRG in an extremely close 4-3 match to move on to the North American Grand Finals once again. In a stunning display, the team swept Space Station Gaming to assert themselves as one of North America's top teams.
All of them playing exceptionally well when it matters most. The season coming to an end, and G2 and Rizzo clearing the path.
As we do wind our last few seconds down, it's the ultimate redemption story for G2 Esports. They were in the promotion tournament. They've now won the playoffs. Your regional champions, G2.
While Season 9's unfortunate cancellation prevented them from taking it all the way to Worlds, G2's recent successes are proof that they've come a long way since their tumultuous start. It honestly really is a testament to the skill and chemistry, more so than anything, of G2 that they've been able to maintain their spot at the top of North America and in the world, in all honesty, for such a long time. And it really doesn't seem like it's going to be slowing down anytime soon. This team and this roster is looking good for a long time to come. But that's all the time we have for today. Make sure to check out our content on YouTube and on Twitter at WatchRLC. Thank you guys so much for watching, and for a little overtime action, here's your weekly Backfire.